Welcome back to Rev It Up Bowling. My name is Jason Robarge, and today we will be comparing the new, not urethane hammer with the old classic, good old purple hammer urethane. So we're gonna be comparing the two. What I laid out today is Cheetah. You can check out my previous video of this ball itself. I drilled two of them, just get an idea on what the ball does. I did a nice little ball review on that. But for today, we will be comparing these two on a short pattern, 35-foot Cheetah. I just wanted to get an idea on how comparable these are. Usually with urethane, I'm typically throwing them on something shorter than 40 foot, kind of depends. I threw the purple hammer at nationals on doubles and singles for all 6 games. Did really well, but I did have to swing that ball a little bit more. So with this one, I wanted to kind of compare the two, see how versatile this one is compared to that one, because that purple hammer, it's one of the best urethanes ever made. I will say, undoubtedly. It's one of those balls that you can really throw it almost from anywhere. I was almost 4th arrow at the Nationals, but on a pattern like this, I would probably assume I'm gonna be right at 2nd arrow. So without further ado, let's get into the comparisons. We are going to try to get this ball kind of going up the gutter, kind of see where I need to stand in order to throw this ball on this pattern. And then once I get lined up, we'll go over to the purple and then we'll start doing some comparisons. Sent it right. All right, so I got that to about 3 down lane, maybe 2. I did send it a little bit farther right than I wanted, but it had a nice recovery to it. I honestly didn't think that ball would make it back. Just because this ball, what I have found, it does have that reactive resin. It's gonna be a little bit farther down lane. It still reads the mids, but it still likes to hook a little bit more in the back ends from what I've seen. Let's go ahead and throw that shot again. I'm gonna make an adjustment, like parallel left a little bit, get a little closer to the pocket. All right, well, I paralleled my feet left, but not my eyes. I think I got a pretty good idea where to go with that ball. I'm gonna be sliding somewhere around 20. I'm probably going over somewhere around 12-ish. With the Cheetah pattern, it's one of those shorter patterns that you can get your angles far right early and still get the ball to recover. On some other shorter patterns, you're gonna want to keep your angles shut down a little bit, like Sydney. But this gives us a good idea. It is one of the easier shorter patterns, but I wanted to give us something to where I'm not struggling the whole time. Let's throw one more to make it a good shot. I'm gonna move a little bit further right off that first shot. See what happens. All right. I moved right and I kept my eyes right. Everything was just closer to the pocket. This is the first time bowling on this pattern. I'm thinking I can probably, I'll move to where I started. All right, that wasn't too bad. That was nice and smooth. So that one, I have two blue hammers, new hammers. That one is 4 1/4 by 55. I have it drilled identical to the purple hammer. Then I also have a 4 7/8 by 30 to give it a little bit more back end, and we're gonna go ahead and throw that one and see where that goes. What I'd expect is this one's gonna be a little bit more down lane. Yeah, definitely a little bit more down lane. As far as surfaces go, this has the out of battle box 1000 on it. My purple has like a fresh 15, so it should be pretty close. Finally. All right, gotta increase the speed a little bit. So with that one, it was about 10 to 5. So I'm gonna go ahead and stand in the exact same place with the purple and see what the differences are. All right. So with that shot, the first thing I noticed is the back ends on that purple hammer are a little bit front to back, a little bit less continuous so far what I've seen. But let's go ahead and throw in another shot and see where it goes. Hook. Nice. Yeah, the biggest thing I see between the purple hammer and the new so far is the purple hammer is definitely a little bit more front to back. especially coming off the second half of the lane, going through the pins. It's going a little bit straighter through the pins, a little bit lower entry angle. So far on this pattern, it's nice because it kind of takes that short pattern out of play. And that's what's so good about this ball. So let's go ahead and throw another shot. Got it in, and it held. Nice. All right, I'm pretty well lined up with that ball, that's for sure. Again, the new rule changes really only go towards the PBA at the current moment. You don't have to worry about the purple hammer or anything during your regular nightly leagues or anything like that. However, kind of what wins on the PBA sells, later. So I do feel like the new hammer is going to be really popular, especially it is very much a weaker front half heavy ball that I feel like a lot of people will be able to square up, especially on those conditions where they do spark off the dry. I feel like this could be a ball that could burn up a little bit and blend a little bit more. I want to figure this new hammer out on this though. I don't have quite as much room as the purple. The biggest differences in ball motion is that one is definitely slower through the mid lanes, a little bit straighter off the back. So I'm gonna try to mimic that with a little bit of ball speed and definitely more hand position. So I'm gonna stand 2 boards farther left. Yeah, the new hammer is definitely more continuous off the back end. That one I felt like it was almost spot on, besides that small move to that purple. And that purple hammer is definitely a little bit straighter off the backs. So far I do have this ball, I would say a little stronger at the current moment, but I would say more so just more left to right than front to back. So with this being a little bit more left to right, I'm sure I could open my angles up a little bit towards the pocket, or towards the gutter. Yep. All right, with that last shot, I just gave it more away early, opened up my angles through the heads a little bit more. That way it got the ball going right a little bit to burn up some of that energy, because this is a little bit more left to right from what I've noticed. I'm gonna open up the angles a little bit farther right and just kind of check the recovery on this. Like I said, it's a little bit more left to right than front to back than the purple hammer. Oh my God, that was dirty. All right, so I think I figured it out a little bit. I will say, so far on Cheetah, with my 4 1/4 by 55, which is the same that's on the purple hammer, it is a little bit more left to right, a little bit less front to back. And that makes sense given the fact that it is a harder cover stock. It's not a urethane cover stock, it is still reactive resin, so it does store a little bit more energy, which makes sense. So everything kind of makes sense at this point. I'm gonna throw one more shot with this ball. I wanna get into a good position, get lined up with this one, and then throw the purple on the same line and get an idea. Oh, get it out. All right, definitely with the new hammer, I can get it farther right and get it to recover. Based off where I'm standing, we're gonna go ahead and throw the purple, see how different it is, or same. If I had to guess with this ball, I'm gonna 2-pin because it's gonna come too straight off the end of the pattern. Well, there's a 2-pin in there. I definitely left it a little far right. So I can tell with that ball, definitely stores less energy down lane. I can see it read the lane a little bit earlier and be a little bit straighter off the back end. These are drilled. The one I was just throwing in this one, identical, but they do have core differences. The RG is higher in this ball and the diff is lower. With that one, RG is lower, diff is higher. Again, to combat the differences in the cover stock, reactive resin, a softer urethane. So this one, in order to make it work, I'm gonna slow it down a little bit and maybe change the hand position slightly. Yeah, I do like to see that. Not every ball is supposed to work in every shot. So you can definitely see with the purple hammer, again, a little bit more front heavy. All right, on this shot, I'm gonna try to keep that front to back motion a little bit more, tighten up my angle slightly, don't get as far right. Okay, so this tells me a lot between the balls. As you can see, that ball is consistently a little light, mostly due to the fact it is reading the heads a little bit more. It's not storing as much energy down lane, so it comes off the pattern a little bit flatter. So I'm gonna make my move and kind of see what the big differences are as far as numbers go. So this one, I'm gonna move 4 right. Yep, it's definitely more front to back with the way I have it laid out. I bet you if I laid one out to get those numbers a little closer, as far as RG and differential go, it would be a little closer. But I do have the purple hammer about 3 boards weaker. I will say, depending on the shot, it could be pretty similar. Maybe even this one be a little bit more. The biggest difference is I do see the new hammer storing a little bit more energy down lane, provides a little bit more left to right motion. A lot of that has to do with the lower RG, a little bit higher differential, mostly the diff. I would say after post drilling with my numbers, I would say it's probably above the 0.03 mark. Normally it's at 0.027. So it is flaring, should be flaring a little bit more. I'm gonna move 1 more right. That's a good shot. Bad result. So basically that's the comparison between the purple hammer and the new hammer. Again, I'm bowling on Cheetah, 35 foot. The biggest difference is what I'm currently seeing with the two is the purple hammer, definitely with its softer cover stock, reads the front half of the lane a little bit more, kind of uses energy up pretty early, and is a little bit smoother down lane, a little bit more front to back. With the new hammer, with it being a reactive resin cover stock, I can definitely see that storing a little bit more energy. It is a harder material, and you can see it be a little bit more down lane, a little bit more left to right. It's still very mid-laney. Like if we're talking a traditional, dark web hybrid or something like that, it definitely reads earlier and burns a little bit more energy up early. However, it is still a reactive resin and still retains some energy. So, what I kind of think with this ball, knowing this now, I think it kind of fits the typical league bowler a little bit better than I even thought. With it being able to store a little bit more energy, I feel like on a house shot, for a typical house bowler, that would help quite a bit versus the purple hammer just kind of burning up and setting up. So I feel like so far with these 2 bowling balls, the new is a little stronger left to right. I can definitely see on a specific pattern, the purple hammer may hooking a little bit more just because it does have that softer cover stock and it is a little bit more friction dependent. So I would say they're pretty comparable. I would like to see them on more shots than just house and then a Cheetah, because Cheetah is pretty soft as far as scoreability goes. But for the most part, I think they're pretty similar. I'm very excited to throw the not urethane in my bag, throw it at some tournaments and kind of see how it goes. I could see it be a little bit weaker, like benchmark ball for me, smooth, controllable, doesn't do anything outrageous, just kind of gets me to the pocket. So with that said, that was the comparison between the purple hammer and the new not urethane hammer. If you like this video, please remember to like, comment, subscribe. My name is Jason Robarge and this is Rev It Up Bowling. Much love, peace.